my God.
Vincent, are you ready to go on your first 911? You want to come out in mummies? But it's not going to be for a while anyway. Where are you going? Guys, a lot has happened since the last time I spoke to you. First of all, I got a dog. His name's Vincent. And second of all, the 930 is having a little bit of work done to it. There's a reason why you haven't seen it on the channel for a good while, and it's because it's undergoing a transformation. Now, the car did need some work. It didn't necessarily need a full restoration, but there was a few things that happened along the way, which I will get into later on in the video. It was a series of unfortunate events, and do you know who caused it? Me. So I'm not quite ready to talk to you guys about what happened there just yet, but we will get into that later in the video. I have come down to Pennings today to check out the car because we have moved on a lot of stages since I did what I did that day. You can see the car behind me. She's looking beautiful in bare metal. I'm gonna go find Scott, who's one of the guys from Pennings, who's been overseeing this whole project and making sure that everything on this car is gonna be absolutely perfect. All right, I'm gonna put Vincent back down on the floor because it is absolutely boiling. Scott, this looks a lot better than the last time I saw it, which I know sounds mad, but she was looking a bit sorry for herself.
Indeed she was.
Can you just go through everything with me? Because I know when this project sort of came across your table, I was like, look, I just want it to be perfect again. I've done some things to the car. It's maybe very sad, but it is the right time. We have caught it in time, right?
Yeah, indeed. The damage that you caused down the near side,
Yeah.
and we've metal finished all of the denting, reshaped all the panels. The vehicle was in really good condition, to be quite honest.
Well, that's what I thought. Before we went through this process, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna err on the side of caution here. And like, if we're gonna go for a full respray, I would love it to be just completely back to factory finish. And we started, it's the first time we've actually looked all the way underneath the car properly. Like Ollie at RPM said, no, you've got a good car, but now you've actually managed to have a look at the chassis like fully. And other than the little bits that we'll go through in just a second, it's a fully solid car.
Absolutely solid, yeah. We've been right through the underneath of it. It's mechanically sound and chassis-wise and structurally sound. And a few minor bits which, yeah, we'll talk about, which we found, which we fixed.
Yeah.
But all in all, really, really good solid car for the age. You know, we've seen some really bad ones.
Yeah, and that's what I was a little bit worried of. I was thinking, you know what, once we start going through this process, am I gonna find out that this car has had a kiss with a tree somewhere or something's happened to it? Cause
No, not at all. Really good straight car.
Like even the A-pillars, they seem so like,
yeah.
They just don't seem like structurally like that strong. I'm sure they are, but you know, for how heavy the car is and just how much power these things had.
Indeed, and these are notorious for scuttle panel rusts. And yours are even really good on the skulls. It's very, very minor, little bit of rust in each corner, but these can sometimes go really bad.
Okay.
And need complete replacement. But again, it's a really good solid car.
This is where I'd say the worst sort of damage was in here, not really damage, but where it needed the most repair work, because here, I remember one day I lost the little rubber sill protector.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, that's not great. There's some bits of rust just on the sill here. And then it led me to the conversation that, okay, maybe it is time to get the car looked at.
Yeah.
And this actually turned out to be where I'd say the majority of the bad rust repair needed to be.
Indeed it was. So on the top seal panel, as you say, when you remove the trim, there's some surface rust. It wasn't bad, but below the seal turbo cover here, which they're notoriously for holding water inside here. So this was all rotten. This was rusted away, which had unfortunately gone through to the inner kidney panel as well.
Yeah.
And rusted the inner seal panel. So basically we had to cut the quarter panel away across here to the torsion bar cover. We've actually fabricated the lower B posts so that we can repair that without having to change the entire thing.
Yeah.
So we fabricated the metal that we needed, cut out the rusted metal, replaced all the interior, re-welded this back together, keeping the factory seal and the factory welds and the factory look of the quarter panel here, just because obviously it's a good solid car. We wanted to do the bare minimums and not get involved in replacing absolutely everything that, you know, so that we could keep the vehicle as original as possible.
It's really exciting to see it like this because, you know, I had the conversation about restoring it and I probably would have left it a couple of more years before I really got into it. And now it kind of forced me to do it because I was like, I can't have the car out on the road like that.
Silver lining, because we've caught that before it got a lot worse.
So you're telling me that me probably one of the best things I could have done for it.
Indeed, definitely.
See?
Yeah.
Positive reinforcement there, guys.
Next process is we will put this into the paint shop.
Yeah.
And epoxy primer the whole car.
Okay.
It will then come back out of the paint shop, back to Ian, to fabrication, where he will do all of the reshaping.
Okay.
And do all of the filler work, and basically make it straight as an arrow, no dents, no ripples over the entire car. Then it will go back into the paint shop to be primed.
Yeah.
And we'll spray filler it as well, again, and block it, prime it, block it, prime it, just to make sure it is as straight it can be.
Yeah.
And then it will be into top colour.
Yep.
Get it back to its original glory.
Paint to sample moss green metallic. Have you ever seen a car in that colour before?
No, I haven't.
So it's quite a special colour actually. The only other time I've ever seen that colour is on a slant nose that was it a Villa d'Este, Pat? Yeah, that's the only other time I've seen a car in that colour. Because the fella that had this car originally, it was a German car. He was like a good customer of Porsche. So he went paint to sample moss green metallic, no sunroof, no rear wiper. Then he did all the other little bits in it. So I think this is a special car and I can't wait to see it back looking mint and in the capable hands of myself. And I'm laughing whilst I say that. Scott, stop laughing. Scott, stop laughing.
Yeah, okay.
This is actually only the second car in my life that I've ever gone with a bare metal respray for. I remember seeing my first car when it was in this condition and I just absolutely loved it. So now to see the turbo like this is so exciting, because it is the ultimate act of love that you can do for a classic car, is to start again, make sure the bodywork is straight. And look at my E21, a 1983 car, and the thing is absolutely mint. I got it painted 10 years ago and it's still perfect. So I can't wait to see what they do with this. But just look at that, like the lines of this thing. It's so beautiful. Okay, so we've got to talk about the reason why the 930 is in paint. And this is quite a painful experience for me. I haven't shown this video to many people and it actually happened a year ago. And it's taken me about a year to actually get it through my head what happened, because it was just one of those moments where you're like, oh my God, I actually cannot believe that's just happened. It was traumatic. It took me about probably 2-3 months to accept that it had actually happened. And I just kind of covered it all up and put the car back in the garage and was like, right, I'll deal with that in just a minute, because this car is like everything I'd ever dreamed of. And it was something that I absolutely babied. I was meticulous about warming it up before I drove it, making sure that it was not, you know, it was the best conditions when I took it out, that I made sure I hand washed it, etc., etc., etc. So for this to happen, it was just like one of those moments where you go, oh, fuck. So let's just get into it. I'm going to watch the video with you because then I can at least give you some idea of what was going through my head at the time. And there's lessons to be learned, but it's not a lesson that I don't already know, which is the stupid thing. But here, look, let's just get into it. So you can see me coming out. I was about to go out with my friends for the day. I just wanted to do as I always do, which is warm the car up. I've got the other car behind it so no one can steal it. I always leave it on a level ground to warm up for like 15, 20 minutes before I drive it, make sure the oil's nice and hot and circulating around the engine, yada, yada, yada. I get in it. Fatal flaw here. Normally I would jump into the driver's seat, but I know that I always tend to keep the car out of gear because I've just pulled it out of the garage. I pulled it backwards and yeah, it's normally out of gear. So I lean in to check again that the car is out of gear. And I was going to start the car to warm it up. I start the car. Oh my God, every time I see it, I'm like, oh no, oh no. I don't even know what to say to you. I thought the car was out of gear. I checked it. I don't know whether the gear linkages are like super loose or whatever. I don't know whether I was just in a rush. I don't know. I basically started the car and the starter motors and the flywheels are massive on the 930 turbos and the car just jumped into life as soon as I turned the key over. It didn't even like, you know, when you're in a normal car, it sort of turns over. It just, as soon as the key went right, it just shot straight off from turning over. I couldn't believe it. Like, I'm lucky that I didn't break my ankle. You see my little flip-flop that just got like left, like, oh no. There's so many things that could have gone way worse, but also at the same time, it was such a terrible moment. It kind of shows me how rubbish those sort of standard garage doors are, which made me rethink that whole situation. But at that point, I was just staring at my 930 that had just plowed through my garage and had made the most horrendous noise. I was so scared that the people would have heard it. My neighbor was gonna come out, and I didn't then, I just walked away from it for a second because I needed a few minutes to think. So that's what happened. I'm horrified about it. I know it's stupid. My dad taught me a very long time ago to always check if a car's in gear before you start it, which I did, but you should always, always, always sit into the driver's seat, make sure you've got your foot on the clutch, on the brake, or the handbrakes on. Do all of that safety stuff before you ever try and start a car. Just basically never start a car when you're not being in it. Or you'll learn the hard way like I did. So looking at the damage, it was really quite minor. There was just some scuffs on the paintwork, obviously where the car went through the garage. It just like plowed through it. The garage door just completely folded. It's so useless, I can't actually believe it. So there was some minor damage on the front wing. There was some damage on just around the headlight area, on the door and the rear arch. Pretty much that was it. There was also a scratch just underneath where the rear deck was, where something from the garage had just managed to just scratch it. It was actually, considering what happened, quite minor, but I knew that I couldn't drive the car out on the roads like that. It was obvious that something had happened to it. I felt absolutely dumb, stupid, all of the words that you can probably think of. And trust me, if you're gonna write a shitty comment to me about how stupid I am, nobody's been harsher on themselves than I have. So whatever, you can do your worst. I've learned a very big lesson. And if this stops somebody else, this happening to somebody else, then so be it. So that is the story as to why the car needed to go over. I actually contacted Ollie at RPM Technic first of all to tell him kind of what had happened, and I needed to get the car in for a restoration because he was like, oh, okay, you want to get it painted? And I was like, yeah. He was like, oh, how quick do you need it done? I was like, well, not that quick, because she's kind of hiding in the garage at the moment. He was like, oh, but it'll be fine. It wasn't fine. I just wanted to really go over the car. And this time I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it properly. Where the rust was down by the sill and down by the kiddie bowl, if I'd have left that for very much longer, I feel that it would have got way worse and it would have been a way bigger job later on down the line. So the few minor scratches and scuffs that were caused by the garage incident has pushed me to get the car finished quicker. So let's look at this with a silver lining. Guys, if you ever do decide to warm up your air-cooled 911 on your driveway, make sure that you get into it, put your foot on the clutch, have the handbrake on, all the rest of that good stuff. Make sure there's a car parked behind it so nobody can take the car. Just make sure you don't do what I do. Let this be a cautionary tale. Right, gang. Next time you see the car, she'll be looking in a lot better shape, but it's very exciting. I think it's going to be an absolute monster when it's done, and I can't wait to see it. I'll see you on the next video.